Hello, my name is Georgia Belmont, and I am a soprano from New York, New York. I come from a musical family, but definitely not classical music. My dad is a tour manager in the rock pop industry, and my mom was an agent for a long time, and so I had a lot of music always around me, but it was the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, not, Maria Callas or Joan Sutherland, nothing like that. I guess I took voice lessons for musical theater. I thought I was going to be a theater kid and go to school for that. My teacher at the time said, I really don't think your voice leads itself to Broadway and the way it's going, because I 100% can't belt. And so I tried a Caro mio ben, one of the 24 Italian songs and arias, and realized that I liked to sing really high, and I really loved singing classical music. What I love about the Fires aria from Ravel's L'Enfant et les Sortilèges, which is what I'm singing in this program, is that it's different from basically all of my repertoire. I feel like as a coloratura soprano, I'm singing a lot of happy songs, and they kind of put sopranos in a box of the ingenue or the love interest, and I just feel like this is the most exciting rage aria. The coloratura is so fun to sing, and I feel like that's a perfect way to kind of express my rage and just be angry and screaming at this little boy. And I think Ravel's music is just so incredible and beautiful, and I just love this aria so much.
Hi, my name is Cara Bender, and I am a soprano from Corning, New York. I've been singing my whole life. There really wasn't ever a time where I didn't consider myself a singer. My dad's a piano player, so I grew up in a house that was constantly full of music. I was in my first musical at age 4 and continued to do that throughout high school, and my dad and I would also perform covering songs by artists like Billy Joel and Johnny Cash, so I've really loved all kinds of music my whole life. But then when I was a junior in high school, my choir director suggested that I look into opera, and there was really no turning back for me. I felt like my voice had found the thing that it was supposed to do. I really love this aria because it's full of these beautiful, sweeping, melodic lines that are just really enjoyable to sing. And I also love the character of this aria, this idea of finding this indescribable love that you can't live without. It's a fun world to step into.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Clutter, and I'm a soprano from Indianola, Iowa. Some of my earliest memories of singing and performing have been through my mom's music studio growing up. And I remember at one of the concerts when I was about 5 or 6, my best friend and I at the time sang How Much Is That Doggy in the Window with little pigtails, overalls, and my dog at the time was somehow trained to woof on command during the woof woofs in that song. And it only enhanced when my mom took me to go see my first opera when I was about 7 at Des Moines Metro Opera, at all places, and we saw The Magic Flute, and I remember loving Papageno and being terrified of the Queen of the Night because I heard that aria before and I was expecting it to be a fun and nice character, but she was evil. And I remember like holding on my mom and being like, ah, why is she so mean? Music and performing have been one of those biggest constants in my life ever since. One of the main reasons why I love singing this aria is within the first phrase of this piece. Liu, who has been tortured the whole night into telling Prince Kalof's name and refusing to do so, is brought in front of the princess, and the princess is asking her, why won't you give in? We are torturing you. And Liu says it's because of his love. And every time I sing this aria, there's a new discovery and a new emotion that I find, because there's so much repeated text and it's only 3 pages long, so it's crazy how much is packed in 3 pages of this opera.
Fabian, and I'm a soprano from Charleston, South Carolina. I grew up in a family of singers, my dad being a music pastor. He picked me up at the age of 2, put me on stage at church, and I sang my first solo, and I never looked back. The piece I chose for this program is from The Light in the Piazza, and I really enjoyed digging into this character's innocence and yearning to experience life for the first time.
I've hardly met everyone, my name is Véronique Filloux and I'm a soprano from Redwood City, California. So I'm very fortunate to have grown up in a musical family. My two younger sisters are singers and my mom is a singer. So I grew up going to church and hearing my mom sing as the cantor and singing along with her there. But also she was in the San Francisco Symphony Chorus for many years. So one of my earliest musical memories is hearing her in the Messiah sing-along at Davies Symphony Hall and going and honestly probably having no idea what was happening, but I loved it. I loved the music and I loved getting to sing along there. So that was a really formative early memory of classical music. And in addition to that, my dad is French. I'm French American. So one thing I'm really grateful for is that I grew up with another language in my ear, because so much of what we do in opera involves singing in French, Italian, German, even Russian and Czech, as well as English. And I'm glad to have grown up speaking more than one language in that way. Today, Eldon Little and I will perform the Fiocromilli aria from Arabella by Strauss. This piece is wild. It is one of my absolute favorites to sing because it is very virtuosic. It has some extremely high notes and some extremely low notes for soprano as well. And it features a huge range of musical styles. There's a polka section, there's a waltz section, and there's a 45-second unaccompanied cadenza that is to be sung as if yodeling, according to the score. So in addition to being a real technical challenge and a joy to sing, it's also a great piece to show off some comedy chops. It's really funny, it's got a lot of opportunities for acting, and because of that, I feel like even though I sing it a lot, I never sing it the same way. So I really hope you enjoy it, and thanks for listening.
Die Wiener verstehen Sie, auf die Astronomie, die könnten von der Sternwarte sein, und wissen gar nicht viel, sie finden einen neuen Stern, der Strauß, die Wiener. Königin an ihrem Firmament. Zu der Anstalt ist im Verein, du sollst unseres Vaters Königin sein. Oh, ladrillo. Oh, ladrillo. Oh, ladrillo.
So like a lot of singers, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. I started in church and my mom was a church choir director, and that was kind of my life, but I don't really remember that. What I do remember is being brought to the center of any family gathering where my grandparents were involved and having to sing for everyone in the room. It would be the songs that I would sing in church, but my grandparents would make me sing it for all their friends. So that's my earliest memory. You know, from its core, music is sound that can be compiled and structured to elicit different emotions and very visceral reactions that cause us to reflect inwardly and honestly. And when you pair that with a message and a voice and a singer who is brave enough to be vulnerable, you can really give the audience a reflection of themselves laid bare on the stage. O Patria Mia is an aria that speaks to me because the dilemma of the piece is something I think we all can relate to. Just the realization that we may not be able to return to something that we love is a basic human rite of passage, in my opinion. The fact is that time is fleeting, and oftentimes so are the joys that come with it. And I think Verdi does a wonderful job at showing the beauty of happy memory and the pain that comes with longing and loss.
Qui radamesfera che vorrà dirmi, io tremo, se tu vieni a recarmi, o crudel, l'ultimo Dio dell'ilai come vorti, mi mai più ti rivedrò. Oh, cieli azzurri, dolci oretativi, dove sereno il mio mattin brillò.
My name is Kate Johnson. I'm a soprano from Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm currently pursuing my Master of Music degree at the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music. My earliest memories of singing would be with my family, whether in the car with like Sesame Street cassettes, doing the Betty Bat and all of those, or singing with my dad and family at church. He would cantor a lot and like sing solo and small group music along with playing guitar, so I really enjoyed joining him with that. And then my very first role was Cinderella in the 3rd grade. It was such a big deal and all the talk of the cast because the prince had to kiss my hand at the ball. So those are some very warm initial memories. The aria that I've shared for this program is Laurie's song, which is from Copland's The Tender Land. Boy, I really love this aria and have been privileged to grow with it for a number of years now that I've been singing it. And I think one of the reasons that I love singing this aria so much is that it is bursting with discoveries for Laurie. She's at a big transition in her life, and I think that the way that Copland has composed the piece, there's a lot of breathing room within it, sort of giving Laurie time to think and reflect as she processes both memories and then looks with wonder and excitement and a little bit of doubt or anxiety about her future. So I love the wholeheartedness of Laurie and the simplicity and innocence that is apparent through both her vocal line and also the orchestra, just the sense of openness and discovery. I love that.
I'd never grow tall as this fence. Time dragged heavy and slow, but April came and August went before I knew just what they meant. And little by little I grew. Know how fast the time could go. Once I thought I'd never go outside this fence. This space was plenty for me. But I walked down the road one day, and just what happened I can't say, but little by little it came to me, that line between the earth and sky came beckoning to me.
earliest memory of singing is definitely from an early age. I was doing choir and school musicals from elementary on through high school. But I think what really did it for me, what made me fall in love and want to pursue singing as a career, was my senior year of high school. I really wanted a leading role in the spring musical, The Phantom of the Opera, and I started taking voice lessons. I did not get the role. I sang Madame Julie, but my range grew exponentially, and my voice teacher at the time was like, I think you really have something, and you should go for this. And I didn't peter out on. I worked really hard, and I kept working really hard, and I would have a success, but then I would be more driven to have another. So it's really the first time I didn't quit anything. It stuck. I chose Se pietà di me non senti from Handel's Giulio Cesare, first and foremost because it's brand new for me vocally. I have not been singing it for long, and I really wanted it to have some kind of exciting debut, and since we're not able to put it in front of people physically, I thought this was the perfect place to start my journey with it. And it's such a stunning piece of music that just immediately touches your soul, and it's like a vice grip on your heart from start to finish.
Just
Lopatka, and I'm a soprano from State College, Pennsylvania. My earliest memories of performing are dance performances. I studied ballet as a kid and I loved it. I would perform at home and try to get my family to watch me, mostly my mom while she was cooking. I fell in love with music, kind of like how you fall in love with anyone. It's slowly and over time, and I just love how you can really relate emotionally, and it was always an outlet for me growing up when things were tough, and I've just loved it ever since. My greatest champions are my parents. They have supported me every step of the way, and they always believe in me even when I'm tired and just can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They are relentless in their support of me, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna be honest, Akiku's is not my favorite aria. It is really hard, and I have had this aria since undergrad. It has been kicking my butt ever since. There is always something new and challenging, You have to control your breath from the moment you begin. It's super exposed, but because of that, when you nail it, it's a work of art.
My name is Kellie Motter, and I'm a soprano from Atlanta, Georgia. So my earliest memories of performing are not necessarily of singing, but of mimicking other voices. I did that a lot as a kid. I had a lot of different voices for different characters. And then in middle school, I joined choir as a way to get out of PE, which is kind of funny because now I'm an opera singer, and all of that led to here. But I fell in love with music through choir. My favorite part of singing is the act of collaborating with other people and sharing music with others. My favorite kind of music to sing would probably be anything from the bel canto era, anything by Bellini, Donizetti, as well as anything in the French language I especially love. So the aria I'm singing today is Je suis encore from Manon by Massenet. And the reason I enjoy singing this aria is because of the music. It's so beautiful. I mean, you can hear it's so undeniably French. I love singing the French language, and I love the character of Manon as well. I enjoy portraying her youthful spirit.
Hello, my name is Bridget Ravenscraft, and I'm a soprano from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. I can tell you my earliest memory of singing as though it were just yesterday. It was at a concert. I was in kindergarten, and myself and two other young kindergarten ladies sang the opening verse of God Bless the USA. And once we finished our verse, the 8th graders would come in and finish out the song. So I believe it was close to their graduation time, so it was a nice tribute to have the kindergartners start and then the 8th graders finish it out. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was definitely my earliest memory of singing. What I like most about the arias I've chosen for this program is how much fun they are to get up and perform, and how rewarding it feels when their performance is over. Kommt ein schlanker Bursch gegangen from Der Freischütz had a lot of text, a lot of German text, and a lot of fast-moving notes. So making sure I got all of my consonants out and making sure that my German was understandable was a challenge, but one that I enjoyed tackling. I have so much fun singing it.
Hi, I'm Emma Rothfield, and I'm a soprano from Woodbine, Maryland. I've been singing and performing for about as long as I can remember. There's footage of me and my brother. This was before I could walk. My dad had trained my brother and kind of me. He trained us to sing this Stevie Wonder song, My Sherry Amore. And my dad was in this new romantic style techno band when he was in college. And when we were growing up, he would actually sing with a swing band. And so he would practice to his karaoke tracks in the car. My mom grew up playing the drums. And so the two of them combined kind of played every genre of music you could name in the house growing up. And I remember when I was in the 2nd grade, my music teacher, Miss Beard, I remember her name, cast me in the school musical, which was called A Froggy Day in Leonardtown. I grew up in a town called Leonardtown, and she cast me as Bully the Bullfrog. And I still remember my favorite line. I turned to this one kid and I said, "And you, I'll turn you into an alligator purse." And so I always milked that line.
I've looked in the windows at diamonds. They're beautiful, but they're cold. I've seen Broadway stars and fur coats that cost a fortune, so I'm told. I guess I'd look nice in diamonds. and sables might add to my charms, but if someone I don't care for would buy them, I'd rather have two loving arms. What good would the moon be unless the right one shared its beams? What good would dreams come true be if love wasn't in those dreams? And a primrose path, what would be the fun of walking down a path like that without the right one? What good would the night be unless the right lips whispered low, kiss me, oh darling, kiss me, while evening stars still glowed? No, it won't be a primrose path for me. No, it won't be diamonds or gold, but maybe there will be someone who love me, someone who love just me, to have and to hold.
Hi, my name is Amanda Sharif. I am a soprano from Houston, Texas, but now I live in Dover, Delaware. So as far as growing up with music was always a part of my life. I grew up in the church, so every Sunday I was singing my butt off in service. But one of the earliest memories of me truly performing was 5th grade. My church had a talent show, and my mom convinced me that I should do it, and I was like, all right, fine. So I get into this talent show, and I wanted to sing Alicia Keys' If I Ain't Got You, if I ain't got you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. But I changed the word baby to Jesus to make it sacred instead of secular. So everyone thought it was super creative, but looking back on it, I'm like, why did I sing that? But I got 2nd place, which is kind of what I always get, so that's great. So the aria that I chose for this concert is Valeria's aria from Mayo by Tom Chiapullo. And the reason why I love this aria so much is because well, first of all, it's in English. So singing a piece in English gives you a sort of empathy that you can't receive from languages translated. So I love singing in English because I can relate to it in fibers of myself that I can't relate to German or Italian because I didn't grow up speaking those. Another reason why I chose Valeria's aria is because of what she talks about in the aria. She talks about insecurity. She talks about not belonging. She talks about things that all of us struggle with to try to fit in and belong and feel beautiful. And eventually at the end of the aria, she says that she's found a man who does make her feel that way. And that's something that I think is relatable to anyone who desires to be in a relationship, is to finally find someone who makes you believe in you more than you believe in yourself.